challenger is still demanding a recount.
Because I believe they haven't wanted to read Sunday's results. There isn't a majority in the country. There are two sides.
This is not the divine inspiration Hugo Chavez had hoped to give Venezuela. More than a month after his death, those at his shrine still pledged devotion. But to his successor, I think a lot of people don't know Maduro, so they didn't vote for him, she says. But here we are. It was very close. Chavismo, Chavez's brand of socialism, is losing steam. So even here in El 23, one of the most loyal neighborhoods to Hugo Chavez, you can understand why some people will have turned their backs on Chavismo, on Nicolas Maduro, and why it's because of the economy. A currency crisis and record inflation expected to reach about 30% a year means shortages are everywhere. This sign says only 4 baguettes per person. There won't be more flour until the end of the month. The owner of this bakery has allowed us inside, and he's trying to show us that, look, he's saying that the bakery store shelves here are not as full as they should be, that normally they would be full to the rafters. He also says he is down to his last 3 bags of flour, and this has never happened to him before. Now, despite this, he says he can't talk about this on camera because he is afraid of the consequences. From the bakery to the street, there is fear about where all this is going. The Chavista government is ordering protesters off the streets. The election is over. We won, they say. And the opposition is running out of ways to prove them wrong. Paul Newton, CNN, Caracas.
Police in London say more than 4,000 members of the force were on duty for Margaret Thatcher's funeral. And while a strong police presence was planned, the bombings in Boston on Monday has heightened the attention on security even further, especially with the list of high-level guests that attended Lady Thatcher's funeral in London. In life and now in death, Baroness Thatcher remains divisive as guests gather for her funeral. Protesters held their own demonstrations against the Iron Lady. CNN's Dan Rivers has more in this report.
Took place, or the protest, but it was very, very small. I'd say a couple of hundred people at most. They turned their back, some of them, on the coffin as it went past, and there are shouts of what a waste of money every time any of the military paraded past, and indeed for the coffin as well, and some booing as well. But apart from that, it was peaceful. There were no arrests, there was no clashes with the police as had been feared, and certainly nothing that interrupted the solemnity of the procession or anything. So I think the police would consider this a big success. They allowed them to make their point. Their point was that her political legacy was extremely divisive. Many people felt that she did more harm than good. Of course, a lot of people would disagree with that view, but that was what they wanted to get across here, and they felt that they could do that by turning the coffin, something that many other people in Britain will have found rather distasteful and some even offensive. But certainly in terms of violence, there was none. And of course, in light of what happened in Boston on Monday, there were extra concerns, not just for political protesters, but of course that this could be perceived as a terrorist target as well.
Well, we now take our second break. We'll be right back. Well, we now shift our attention to the weather report courtesy of the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Hello viewers and welcome to the weather forecast with me, Abubakar Dabo. Warm and sunny conditions prevail during the day. The satellite image indicates convective clouds over the Gulf of Guinea state, central and of course the eastern part of Africa. The rest of the continent remains dry and stable. The weather tonight will be cool and stable, whilst the weather tomorrow will be cool and partly cloudy in the morning, becoming breezy and warm in the afternoon. The winds will be northwesterlies in direction, moving at a speed of 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. The minimum temperatures will range from 18 to 20 degrees Celsius over the coastal areas and 21 to 20 degrees Celsius over the inland. And for maximum temperatures, we're expecting 38 to 41 degrees Celsius over the inland and 30 to 36 degrees Celsius over the coastal areas. The low tides will be 0.7 meters at 8:52 in the morning and 0.7 meters at 9:59 in the afternoon. And for the high tides, we're expecting 1.2 meters at 2:55 in the morning and 1.4 meters at 3:28 in the afternoon. And for the waves, we're expecting waves of 1 to 2 meters, light to moderate southeasterly swells. The sun will rise at 6:50 in the morning and will set at 19:21 in the afternoon. Thanks for the pleasure of your company and have a wonderful evening.
Well, from the weather, a reminder of our top stories before we go. The National Assembly has passed the National Enterprise Development Initiative Bill 2013 and a host of legal instruments touching on various aspects of development. Medical Research Council and the community of Sukuta have been commemorating the 10th anniversary of a partnership credited with advances in the area of medical research. Supporters of the defeated Venezuelan presidential aspirant Enrique Capriles have been clashing with police in the capital, Caracas. And U.S. law enforcement agents have made a broad appeal for help to advance the probe into the Boston Marathon bombings that claimed at least 3 lives. Well, that's your bulletin for tonight. Thanks for the pleasure of your company and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Sheikh Professor Al-Haj Dr. Yahya AJJ Jame, High Excellency the Vice President Ajaratu Dr. Asudunjai Sedi, Cabinet Ministers here present, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Permanent Secretaries, the Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, other senior government officials here present, the press. Good afternoon to you all. Your Excellency, may I politely request that we begin this occasion with prayers.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, maliki yawmiddin, iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawmun lahu ma